heard you swearing. Mind if I join in? Crap, boobs, crap.
Bart wondered if Edison had thought of it. Why wasn't the infallible chair on his list of inventions? Homer was also puzzled, so he decided to visit the museum to get to the bottom of it. That night, Homer drove hundreds of miles to the Edison Museum. The long drive left him exhausted and nearly asleep. Just then, he suddenly saw the spirit of Edison ahead. However, being a materialist, Homer stepped on the gas and knocked him out of the way. The next day, Homer finally reached his destination, where a long line had already formed.
All right, the museum's still open.
Why don't you like Edison that much?
Early in the morning, the tour guide was explaining Edison's achievements and mentioned that behind this door is Edison's brain. Everyone was astonished, as this door was usually off limits. And of course, there would be no exception today. At that moment, Homer and Bart peeked through. They began their next move. Homer kicked over the wax figure of Edison, and just as he was about to smash it with an electric hammer, he noticed a clock on the wall. The clock showed that the number of Edison's inventions was far fewer than Da Vinci's. Homer realized that Edison, just like him, had lived in someone else's shadow.
Boat swings?
No!
Upon discovering the truth, Homer propped up Edison's wax figure. He understood that Edison, just like him, had set unrealistic standards for himself. As a dreamer, Homer changed his mind and left the museum. Back home, the news broadcast from the Edison Museum showed the infallible chair and the electric hammer. They presented these two inventions as Edison's new discoveries, which would bring in millions of dollars for the already wealthy Edison family. Homer was so angry that he ground his teeth. To refuel with some energy, he asks if there are any healthy food options. Apu recommends a celebrity-endorsed protein bar to Homer. When Homer checks the ingredient list, he finds that it actually contains all natural apples. Running alone still makes it hard for Homer to lose weight, so he decides to try going to the gym. He can't handle high-intensity workouts at first. Wolf thinks Homer's fitness level is too low and offers to coach him personally. For someone with Homer's body type, the first thing he needs to work on is his core strength. 2 months later, Homer can already lift dumbbells, although he still has some excess fat. His muscle definition is quite obvious. His family is shocked when they see the change in Homer. Homer asks Lisa to feel his muscles, but Lisa deliberately touches the soft parts to show off his strength. Homer lifts Bart above his head with one hand. Now, Homer only eats protein bars every day. All other foods seem like junk food to him. Bart is surprised that Homer knows a celebrity. Homer says that Wolf is now practically his personal trainer. The staff from the protein bar company want to ask Wolf to shoot a mountain climbing commercial, but Wolf refuses. Just then, Bart runs over and says that not only does Homer eat their protein bars every day, but he will definitely be able to climb to the top of the mountain. The staff think hiring Homer for the commercial will also save money, so they agree. However, what Homer doesn't expect is that the mountain they need to climb is actually the tallest mountain in Springfield. This would make the kids stronger. Homer even deliberately played scary music.
Honey, I know you're scared, but there's no boogie woogies or woolly bullies out there.
When it was bedtime, Marge comforted Bart, telling him there were no monsters in the world. She assured him he could sleep peacefully and also replaced his nightlight with a new one. At this time, Lisa also couldn't fall asleep because she was too scared. Suddenly, a noise came from the attic, and she covered her head in fear. Bart heard the noise too, so the two decided to go to the attic to investigate. But Bart was so frightened that he abandoned Lisa halfway and ran away. Lisa tried to stay calm and walked forward, but suddenly stepped on a bone. She immediately ran down the stairs. Meanwhile, Homer and Marge were enjoying some quality time together.
Come on, Dad, there's a ghost in the house.
Good, can you play with him for half an hour?
Oh.
Homer looked around for a while and didn't find any ghost, but he found a magazine from 1986. Just then, eerie music came from the attic. Homer lit a torch and walked toward the attic, with everyone else following behind him up to the attic.
Hello, Simpsons.
Artie Ziff!
It turned out that Artie Ziff had been hiding in the attic all alone. Surviving on moisture, he could draw water from the rafters.
Let me explain. I was an internet billionaire.
Oops, say no more.